Hello everyone! Today we have the top of the best games for PS5, which every gamer must play. Let's get to the first game. Ghost of Tsushima. Recently I found out that this game is called a clone of Assassin's Creed. I drew some parallels, and in principle I joined those who consider this game very similar. However, considering the fact that Ghost of Tsushima, although it repeated a lot of moments from Assassin's Creed series, the game turned out to be quite independent. No matter how paradoxical it sounds, probably because of the setting and the story, and in principle because of many mechanics. Thanks to which the game is played quite vigorously. There are, of course, some moments that personally pissed me off. These are long transitions from one point to another, because you have to spend a lot of time on these jumps. Sometimes I even got off the horse and just walked, not even running, but slowly, just to admire the surrounding atmosphere. The game is so beautiful, atmospheric, and gorgeous, I remember it and want to play it again. I went through both the add-on, where the separate island of Iki, and the entire island of Tsushima. The combat mechanics are exactly why I loved this game. Stealth, combat, this is where it's done at its best. In Assassin's Creed, stealth and combat mechanics are far from the same level. In general, for all fans of atmospheric games, I highly recommend to play Ghost of Tsushima. Resident Evil Village, a must for all fans of the Resident Evil series. It continues the unfinished story from the 7th part. The 7th part is a kind of rethinking, and it is from it that the story went further. Of course, there is a remake of the 4th part, which came out after Village. But if you somehow missed Village, then I advise you to pass this game. And I can't really fault it for anything. Probably the only thing I didn't like is that the game leads too much by the character's hand. Because there's unnecessary clues with yellow trails that make you not get the chance to solve the puzzles on your own. This is what I don't really like about it, really. I've always loved the Resident Evil series for the fact that you only have to think with your head there. Nice job remaking the 2nd and 3rd installments, and by the way, let's talk about them too. The 2nd and 3rd part, and also the 4th part, all these games just have to be on your console. If you don't play them, you will miss many hours of pleasantly spent time. Sometimes it will be difficult because it will be hard in some places, but nevertheless, it will be worth it. Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is a game that, when it came out, received a lot of acclaim. Why is that? Right now you are watching the gameplay, which is without glues, that is, it is whole. And agree, you just cannot take your eyes off, because there is constantly something happening on the screen. When you play this game yourself, you will be in exactly the same rhythm. Of course, not in the first hours. At first you will have to get used to it, especially if you have not played active games before. But after a while, you will feel very confident there. You will simply forget where you are at all, and absolutely immerse yourself there. It's just impossible to put into words how dynamic and cool Doom Eternal is. It is really comfortable to play it on a gamepad. Here you won't scold the developers for the fact that it's inconvenient to aim at enemies. On the contrary, everything is so cool here that it is a pleasure to play it on a gamepad. The plot is certainly not straight perfect, but nevertheless, quite good. The graphics in the game is gorgeous. The visual atmosphere is just at the perfect level. Go and collect some collectibles, listen to cool music, or destroy a few demons will not bother anyone. Demon's Souls Remake. I'm obligated to talk about it simply because the remake is still a PlayStation 5 exclusive and it hasn't been released on PC yet. Overall, Demon's Souls Remake is very cool, not based on the fact that it's the Souls series. If you're not familiar with the Souls series at all and decide to play Demon's Souls specifically, you'll find the genre completely new and confusing. In terms of story, some may not like it, simply because the plot there is very hard to understand. You have to read from notes, item descriptions, from scraps of dialogue with very rarely seen NPCs, most of which you may miss. The coolest thing about this game is the atmosphere, its graphics, 60 frames per second, the ability to completely go through the game in the company of your friend. That's exactly what I did. Alas, I didn't pass it completely. Someday my hands will reach it. But what I have already managed to pass, I liked it. I want a sequel. Cyberpunk 2077. Someone out there berating Cyberpunk about how you should play it on PS5? That's the thing. On PS5, it's been completely fixed, reworked so much that all those problems that were on PS4 and even PC, they just aren't there on PS5. Plus, there's also Phantom Liberty, a whole huge add-on. So it's the edition that's meant for the PS5 that's a must-have on your console. If you go through Cyberpunk on PS5, believe me, you won't waste your time. The story is great, the gameplay and atmosphere is awesome. Now there's nothing to berate the game for. The tasks are interesting, there are a lot of missions. The game is also very packed with little details, collectibles, and secrets. If you've somehow bypassed Cyberpunk, I'll tell you that you're in luck, as you'll start exactly with the PS5 version. The Last of Us Part 1. I want to play this game again. I played it often, 2 times on PS3, 2 times on PS4, and 1 time on PS5. And now we are talking about the remake of the first part. If you compare it with PS3 and PS4 versions, there is a difference, really very colossal. In The Last of Us is a harsh, brutal post-apocalyptic world where instead of zombies, there is someone else that is just other monsters. Zombie apocalypse, you can say you need to go from point A to point B. You're traveling in this game and you're not just doing some random tasks. You are going through some story, traveling, living some passage, a piece of someone's life. Because this game is so immersive, you will associate yourself very clearly with the character and with what is happening on the screen. Even though it's third person rather than first person, I've played it more than once, and each time I cried both at the beginning of the game and at the end. She is truly worthy of being played through. She's probably the best I've ever seen in my life. Today we heard the top 6 best, interesting, and quality games on PS5 that are a must-play, and hopefully this list will be replenished with new additions. See you soon! Bye, everyone!